Because we recently experienced administration of communion from reserved sacrament, I want to talk today about what we do to prepare the table when we're actually doing a full Eucharist. Now, the difference is that a Eucharist is the entire service, and it includes the Eucharistic prayer, and the main difference is that in that Eucharistic prayer is the consecration of the elements. So if we offered communion from the reserved sacrament, that is bread and wine that in the past has already been consecrated during a Eucharist, and that can be used for communion. But to do that, we wouldn't go through the Eucharistic prayer because we wouldn't be consecrating it. So that service of administration of communion from reserved sacrament is much shorter than the Eucharist itself. But I want to talk now a little bit about what happens when we prepare the table for Eucharist. And here at St. Peter's, we don't have a deacon, and preparation of the table is actually one of the key tasks that the deacon is charged with if there is a deacon at the service. So we do not have a deacon, so now I am the one that has to prepare the table. Now, what does that mean? That means that first of all, the main big cloth on the altar is called the fair linen, and then there is a square cloth that is in the middle of that is called the corporal. And the best way, I think, to explain it is to use our former deacon's explanation, which is to say, as we prepare the table, anything that is on that smaller piece, that corporal, is sort of in play to be consecrated when we say the words of consecration. So what I will do now that we don't have a deacon is I'll prepare the table. We will bring the offerings up, either from the credence table over on my right or from the back of the church. And those offerings include the bread and the wine to be consecrated. So then I will distribute those on the paten or plate that is used for the bread and into the chalice, and then I will place the remaining wine, which is in a flagon or a cruet, that will be on the corporal, so that all of that can be consecrated and used for communion. Now, we have to be careful sometimes if we do anticipate communion from reserved sacrament. For example, for Good Friday, we don't actually consecrate bread and wine on that day. We use previously consecrated bread and wine, which is now the body and blood of Christ. So there are just things that we do that are very symbolic. One of them is that as I prepare the table, I will put some of the wine, unconsecrated wine, in one chalice, and then I will leave that flagon of the remaining wine on the corporal so that it will be consecrated, and then I will pour a little water in the chalice with the wine and in the cruet with the remaining wine. And to me, that is a symbol, in a sense, of the ordinary being mixed with the holy. And so I don't even know if that's officially what our stance is on that, but it means a lot to me to think that even my little ordinariness can be mixed with the holy and produce something holy. So we do that as we begin to prepare the table, and then we do keep ideally, we keep only one chalice on the corporal, on the altar, at the time of consecration, because that is the sense that there is that we are one body. We're drinking from the common cup. Now, in a larger, more well-attended service, we will ultimately use two chalices, but we will bring that second one up after the recitation of the Lord's Prayer, and then we will fill it also with consecrated wine, the blood of Christ. So, and one other thing, and that is to say, I constantly get questions about why, when cleaning up the table, I tip the chalice over, the empty chalice, on the paten or plate. And I do that because I see it as a symbol of the blood of Christ being poured out for me and flowing from that place out into the world with us as we go.